buddy.
The best part of this Nick Cannon Professor Griff
that
interview.
To smell his balls if he hadn't showered for a while. She'd be like,
really?
When was the last time you showered? If it had been a while, she'd be like, I was smell.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, dude, that bitch is crazy.
Yeah, bitch is crazy. Yeah, dude,
so
it's better than wanting to pop your pimples. I knew a girl that used to do that. Not to me. That's gross.
She wanted to pop your pimples?
No. I knew a guy who told me his girlfriend loves to pop her pimples. I was like, that's the most disgusting thing I ever...
My mom used to do that.
Oh, really? My mom used to do it to me, too.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's... Ugh.
That's one reason it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
My mom used to stick, hairpins in my ears to get up, like, blackheads.
Oh, I don't like it.
Okay,
see, what she did there, when she goes, I'm going to call him Mr. Dick Biscuit. Okay, there it is. Like, it felt kind of like a forced, like, The guy I was telling you about, he does that a lot on stage. And that's, like, the only thing about her that I can see that kind of seems autistic-y.
The pill. It's the one your mom you should have took. Hey.
And it's I don't like when really, like if you're going to exploit having autism... where you're at this level of functioning, like, you just say that you're on the fucking spectrum, like, it's almost insulting to, like, kids with, like, real autism to say, like, this show's about autism while I, like, speak in complete sentences and a whole room of people laughs in my face and I'm okay with it.
It's my understanding the only surefire way to get an accurate diagnosis of autism is to take her to Las Vegas and see if she can fucking win you like a bunch of money at blackjack. Hey, so you're into this. So I have a lot of Nick Cannon, Professor Griff quotes from the podcast that he did. They're completely out of context, but even in context, they don't make any thing. He got in trouble. I can give you the quote where he got in trouble first. He said it right off the bat because they wanted to define who they was. He also did an interview with KRS-One. KRS-One was like, well, let's not go into detail about who they are. And then he's like, a lot of people call it the Illuminati. Why don't we just say the world bankers? So I didn't even know KRS-One hated Jews too, but whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, first thing Professor Griff did was give out his phone number, which is 678-557-2919.
Now, who's Professor Griff?
Okay, Professor Griff was... they called him the Minister of Information at Public Enemy, but what he actually was the road manager and like the choreographer. So like they used to have all these dudes.
For Public Enemy?
They were dressed in military garb, kind of like the guys who are going around Portland kidnapping
Public
people
Enemy,
right now.
I'm thinking NW. Public Enemy is with Flavor Flav, right?
Yeah, and they would do these dance moves.
Yeah, that
military-style dance moves. Machine guns.
I was thinking NWA, and I was they had a choreographer. But, I mean, yeah, that makes more sense. Keep going.
So Professor Griff got into trouble because he was very much under the influence of the Nation of Islam. And somebody had given him a book about how Jews were responsible. Same thing Mel Gibson said. Jews are responsible for all the wickedness in the world is what his exact quote to this reporter was.
Right.
And what's really funny is Griff is retelling the story to Nick Cannon. And he says to Nick Cannon, he goes, yeah, at the time that reporter said to me, he pulled me aside before he left, and he goes, you know, this is the kind of thing that gets people in trouble, just so you know. And trying to do Griff a favor or something, I don't know. And then and Griff's like, whatever. And then Nick Cannon goes, and that conversation goes, kind of like this conversation. And then you could see Griff just pause and look at him, and there's like this uncomfortable pause, and he's like, but we got to speak the truth. No, he's like, but we got to be fearless, though. And then they just went on, dude. And I bet it was too late anyways, but hold on. Well, first of all, they said COINTELPRO took Farrakhan off Facebook.
Well, Farrakhan, Reverend Farrakhan, or Professor Farrakhan, or whatever, he's also like an anti-Semite, right?
Yeah, he's like, and he's like very right-wing by the people. People confuse that with like the left and the right, but he's definitely, Chapo calls him the Trump of black people. Okay, so, here we go. They don't want us to be them. Okay, so...
We don't want to be...
All right, so Professor Griff says, I looked up...
Maybe we should type this out. I can't read this shit.
Oh, no. I gave your end on... that's why I sent you your end. I could read out the rest.
Okay.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter what we read. I mean, before that, I could do a bunch of these. Some of these are just really funny, but we can recreate this scene. Do you see it? Let me know when you got it, cause this is all about the delivery.
All I have is
I sent you a.
it's just this one.
Yeah, does it say Blue Blood? It was the last thing I sent you.
I don't think.
It says Blue Blood. Does it
Oh
say-
yeah.
Okay.
I see it.
All right, you go. You're Nick Cannon. I'm Professor Griff.
All right. I don't know how good of a Nick Cannon. All I can remember about Nick Cannon, one thing is in Drumline, the whole time he makes this face, like because he has to seem hard in front of fucking Orlando Jones.
I like how he drops the fucking drumstick, and they're like, "Hey, you dropped
Hey,
the
that
drumstick."
movie slaps, so I can't hate. All right, let's leave it there. If we're going to go Blue Blood, going back to understanding a Blue Blood is a European person because they don't have a pigment in their skin that you can see their blue veins. Okay.
Blood is blue until oxygen hits it. Then it turns red. Democrat and Republican Party. But by the way, how ridiculous of a person are you that you don't know that blood is not... Like, have you ever had your blood drawn?
Yeah.
Okay, was it blue?
No.
So my theory is that Professor Griff doesn't have health insurance.
Well, a lot of people say that. Like, that's something that, even as a little kid, is a fun fact that is passed around. But it is also it's like, once it's oxidized, so when you can see it, like,
I
as
know,
just
but
blood.
but when you pull out a syringe,
Oh yeah, no,
and you
he's
donate
maybe. I don't know.
plasma. You know
Well,
how when
he
you donate
says whenever
plasma?
it hits oxygen. That's what it's.
Yeah, I know, but there's no oxygen when you draw your blood. Like when you get your blood drawn for plasma, that's all red.
But it gets oxygenated, right?
Well,
That's
then
why it's blue.
How
in your
would it?
veins.
When would it be blue then? It always has oxygen in it.
It's blue in your veins.
No, it's red in your veins.
Well, then
It's
why
always
are your
red.
veins blue?
I don't know, because the tubing is blue, I guess.
Okay.
Anyways, okay, I'm just saying, Professor
Blue
Griff
bloods.
has never had his blood drawn.
Blue blood sounds like is that not a mean word for Jews?
No, blue blood is just a term for like European, like it is European. It's just like people of noble birth. It's just like it's just a nickname for like rich like European people. I'll give you the thing you got in trouble for. Farrakhan was silenced on Facebook because of COINTELPRO counterintelligence program. And he says COINTELPRO is a counterintelligence program because we have so much intelligence and information, they want to counter that by destroying us. They don't want us to be them. They don't want us to be us. They don't want you wearing a turban.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Huh?
I guess that wasn't old. That was old. Just an old. Also, the bluish color of veins is only an optical illusion. Blue light does not penetrate as far into tissue as red light. Ah, okay. That makes sense. So yeah, that's just somebody just made that up based on your veins being blue.
Okay, I'll have the Nick Cannon stuff.
We're gonna do you want to read?
Huh? Fuck the Illuminati. That's brave. Hey, because that's Roman Catholicism, which I don't subscribe to. We
He
are
didn't
the
say
Illuminati
Catholicism.
ones.
He said Catholicism.
No, I just
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
Professor Griff goes, we were talking about the Illuminati. Professor Griff goes, we invented secret societies. They stole that from us. Not only does he think it's real, he thinks that. Okay, well, let's see. All right.
that borderline sounds like a troll.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
know.
crazy it is.
Okay, so Farrakhan was silenced on Facebook. Okay, Professor Griff starts talking
Farrakhan
about
is such
Jews.
a cool name, though.
Yeah, it is.
I gotta say.
Farrakhan's a prophet, and we think you ought to listen. Okay, we are the people who gave birth to civilization, but we can't call ourselves gods. I think there's a misnomer there. That's what, which is funny because when you misuse the word misnomer, it's almost like that's a misnomer. Okay, then Nick Cannon says, "Let me play devil's advocate here," and then Professor Griff goes, "But we have to define the devil is the adversary of God." But go ahead. That's a key that somebody's not listening to you. Okay.
Is she talking about Ninja Turtles?
I don't know. She'd be twice as funny if she came out dressed in a Ninja Turtles outfit. Okay, they
Dude,
fear
the
us.
90s Ninja Turtles live action movies were so good. Like, and then they made new ones because, like, they used costumes instead of, like, CGI. And so, like, it just looked like 6 foot tall, like, those movies, they just make me think about being young.
To this day, I don't know if that was Corey Feldman was one of the Ninja Turtles or not.
Oh, wow. He might have been Michelangelo's voice.
I feel like he was, but
That
I don't
would make
know.
sense. The best thing about that movie is the opening scene. Raph loses one of his size
Oh, here's the funny part.
and just goes, damn. And I just remember being a little kid and being like, what? The Ninja Turtles curse.
So Nick Cannon's talking to Professor Griffin. He goes, "You said they killed all the bigs and birthed all the lils." Right? They always say they.
Right.
And then Professor Griff, when he hears that, he goes, "Whoo, yeah." Like when somebody fucking said, "Hey, you said," like he just read his quote to him and he heard it and he went, "Yeah, whoo." That Professor Griff, he keeps it real. Oh wait, I'm Professor Griff. I keep it real.
Did you see the thing that dude, like did a fake quote from Hitler or something about, like, how, like...
He's a football player or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
And
I
it's
heard
like-
about it.
and
I
it's
didn't
like
know.
or maybe it was... Because there was that. I remember reading something. It could have just been, like, somebody writing out what he said. But it was something, like, apparently, like, that Hitler didn't even write. But it was about, like, Jews coming to America and oppressing black people more and, like, all this crazy shit.
Okay, here's a Nick Cannon quote. "When I see 18-year-old me prancing around in a dress and a wig, was that me being funny, or was I a pawn in some psychological warfare?"
Nick Cannon said that?
Yeah, and I found pictures of him dressed in a wig and stuff. That's gonna
How
be a
old was he?
thumbnail. I don't know. He was on some TV show.
I believe it was All That.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Here's the Jew.
That is
thing.
true, though. Him doing that is a risky move.
What? Oh, him saying this?
No, being 17 years old and dressing up like that in the black community, they don't play that shit, dude.
I know.
They do not play that
But
shit.
thinking it's like a conspiracy is hilarious because like some like it hot and like Tootsie and all that. But here, Mrs. Doubtfire. But here's the thing, like, and they always use that Dave Chappelle quote, like, to give it like some sort of validity because he's like a smart comic and stuff.
Yeah.
But Dave Chappelle fucking said his complaint about that was that it was hacky, and they never include that part. Because, like, you know, the problem isn't that, like, you wore a dress. The problem is that you do, like, the Masked Singer. That's, like, a bigger...
Yeah.
That's probably a psychological warfare program, if you ask me.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I looked up who the Semitic people are, and it has nothing to do with any white people. In order to be anti-Semitic, I'd have to be anti-black. Yeah, there are no Semitic black people. Here's the thing. And Jews were only considered white till after World War II, which, by the way, I think is the real beef between black people and Jewish people.
Oh, after. I
Because
get that.
Jewish people got their, like, you know, they got their bill paid, pretty much. They got their own
and
country, they got to be white. But they were segregated. They had Norman Mailer was talked about going to Harvard and how he
That's
had
really
to be in his
true.
own dorm. Like, people don't even remember that. But so that there's the whole flaw in that argument, but I'm not really trying to dismantle his argument. I just want to make fun of the things he said. I can't do an argument with a guy on Facebook, and this guy just annoyed me so much. He goes, "Nick can't be racist because Jewish people aren't white." And that thing was that's such a stupid thing, I couldn't even begin to unpack it. So I just went, race doesn't exist, and Nick Cannon is the worst thing to happen to entertainment since AIDS. All these people got mad. They didn't get mad at the AIDS comment. They got mad that I said race wasn't real.
It wasn't real.
And then I posted a fucking thing
Well,
about...
people read that as you being one of those...
Like a little
grumpy
SJ
asses,
dub?
just like, race isn't even real.
I don't
Why
even
you
do
guys
that.
lie?
I
know.
don't even talk like that. I just want to troll the guy.
I know you.
'Cause
Do.
I'm like,
I'm
I don't even
saying
want to have this
that's how they
conversation.
read it, and that's why they all got like, "Arr." It's
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
thing whenever I did that dumb post calling people
Oh, yeah.
idiots. And like people took that serious.
But that's an actual real thing, though. Because, like, you can go on. I found a federal government, like, document on research document where they found 99 point. You name any random race, you share 99.9% of the same DNA.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, we share, like, I think it's with yeast, or maybe potatoes. We have, I think it's yeast. We have, our DNA is so fucking similar.
Yeah.
Like, they have been able to study our DNA through yeasts. Like, and like, they were talking about it on NPR one time. It's super crazy. I think it was yeast. Maybe it was. Yeah, I think that's what it was. But yeah, and like we also like our DNA has a lot in common with banana, I think, as
We
well.
share the same DNA as bananas.
I mean, like a lot of weird shit like that.
Whether you're black, Chinese, banana,
But
we're all the same.
That also that could be a blue blood thing. The banana thing. That could totally be a blue blood thing.
Okay, here's a Dick Cannon quote. They fear us because of their lack of melanin. When you have a person who lacks melanin, they know they will be annihilated. So they lack compassion because melanin comes with compassion and soul. So people who lack it, and I'm going to say this carefully now, are a little less. That's him saying it carefully. People who lack melanin are a little less. Like white people are a little less. That's him being careful. When they were sent to the mountain of Caucasus, I don't know what that is, the sun began to deteriorate them, and then they act out of fear and deficiency and low self-esteem. They are the ones who are closer to animals. They are the true savages.
What is melanin? Is that what they call the extra bone in their foot?
They lack melanin. That's why they can't run fast.
I'm just kidding. I got a whole bottle of melanin in there.
Professor Griff says black people were here before Christopher Columbus. Or he might have said Chris Columbus, actually. Who is the director of Home Alone? See, I wrote down director of Home Alone. So he's right. Black people were here before Chris Columbus, director of Home Alone.
That was a good one on Netflix. The films we grew up on or whatever, and they just like, it's like 80s movies.
Yeah.
And it just tells you like interesting things. And they have Dirty Dancing and Home Alone and shit like that. The Home Alone one was really good.
Okay.
I had quite a few.
Oh, yeah, a lot of the stuff came from the Black Hebrews. Those are the people who got into the fight with the Covington kids, and then the Indian tried to get in the middle because he saw like 100 crazy white kids
and then that's
like surrounding these 4 dudes.
Yeah.
And that started that whole thing.
And that's when that picture with that kid and the
smirking.
Native American dude, like
a
smirking.
little psycho.
Yeah, that kid, he looked like a real fucking crazy, like, rich dad.
They don't want us to be them. They don't want us to be us. Okay, here it is.
What is she complaining?
Thinking. Okay, so what he said was, something about, he mentioned the Rothschilds when he's like we need to define who they are. And then Nick Cannon said,
Jews.
The Rothschilds, centralized banking, the 13 families, the bloodline that controls everything, even outside of America. We are the true children of Israel.
Peoples whose last name ends with Feld and Steen and Berg.
The Steens. Who the Jewish people are. If we, oh God, I have such bad handwriting. Understand that construct, then there is no hate that lies. And then he said something about the deceit. And then he said something about the lies, the deceit, the fake dollar that controls all of this.
Your lawyer, your accountant.
My agent, Sam Slapperstein. My producer over at The Unmasked Singer, Johnny Rosenbaum. The Rothschilds. Can you imagine him like arguing with his agent? He's like, I as a Jew find that offensive. And he's like, but you're not Jewish. But you're not black. And he's like, that's not what Jew means.
No, the blacks are the original Jews. Jew is the new black.
She was the new black. That's why they blew. That's why all the noses on the Sphinx are missing, because otherwise you'd see the giant noses. Can you imagine the original Sphinx?
Oh God,
All
I
that
just
gigantic Howard Stern noses.
fucking honkers.
Don't
Oh,
worry.
she self-diagnosed herself with autism.
I get it.
Jesus Christ, stolen autism, Valor?
Stolen autism, Valor.
At
She's
least
the
have
Rachel
a-
Dozenel of autistic people.